Alright. Welcome back to another video. Either that or welcome back to another cut. Sometimes that ends up in the same video, so we'll see. Still trying to keep this all pretty much unedited, so I'm not cutting a bunch of stuff out. Trying to stay raw and real, even though that raw and real, because I'm not cutting stuff out in the beginning, might be a little more boring because I'm not cutting out pauses or moments, that could slow my growth on these social media channels. But I think being real is more important than cutting what I think are boring moments out. Because other people might not find that as boring. That whole, okay, say I'm talking on the camera like I am now. There's been numerous times, because I'm new with being on camera and remembering that I'm on camera. And something will take my mind, I'm talking to the camera, and then I see something, I'm like, squirrel! And then I forget that it's on camera, so then I'm just quiet, and all of a sudden I'll, 10, 30 seconds go by, or whatever. And I don't know the longest I've done. I don't know if I've done a couple minutes or not, I don't know. But then I remember, oh my gosh, I'm recording, Sorry about that, and I could cut those moments out which would cost me a lot more time in editing. So, but by not cutting them out, who knows, somebody might, if maybe somebody that's studying, going to school for psychology or something, maybe, might be watching my video. And in that moment, when I squirrel, see something, and then I forget that I'm recording, they might be able to analyze that and use it in a book report or something. I don't know. So maybe there's a reason for those moments, I can't believe I thought of that. I don't know why. Because that's actually kind of a feasible scenario. I'm doing something really good. Woohoo! You go, Darren. All right. Well, let's get rolling so we can get to the library. Oh, good song. All right. But I better turn it down just a little bit. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. The good Lord has been blessing me that way too. I've had this stuff playing in the background, and I hope I don't get a copyright strike, because I like listening to this channel, which is Christian music or whatever. And I think it's nice to have in the background, because what my channel is. And anytime I got going, if you can lightly hear some Christian music in the background, you might know some of these songs and be like, oh yeah, that's a good one, even though it ain't blaring, So hopefully we can keep that up. I don't know why I turned this way. I could have went right out that way. Habit, I guess. There's a good example of sometimes how I think. Even though I could have went that way, I turned this way out of habit. Now, question, was it because of habit? Or was I supposed to go this way? Because just by my path changing, it all takes place of all the things that are going on around me, and it being the same for everybody, It's part of the design. Kind of makes you wonder. That's getting into some deeper philosophical thinking or something, I guess. But I do believe that. I do believe there's reasons for everything. Because who knows, maybe if I would have went that way, sometimes I believe that God will have you take a different path. Like you might have been planning on taking a left and you end up taking a right or something. And we don't know the answer, but if we would have taken a left, maybe we would have ended up in a car accident or something, We don't know. There's a reason. I think there's a reason that you accidentally went the wrong way or something, I am going to go this way. Because I should have went left there too. And the reason I went right, this time I made a choice though. I didn't do it out of instinct. Well, kind of, maybe I did. I don't know. But there's a Ford dealership up here. I want to drive by and kind of see it. Because I seen an ad on Indeed that you're looking for like a lot attendant or something like that. And I don't know if they're looking for an older dude like me to be a lot attendant, but I guess you move the cars around. I guess if your customers wanting to test drive a vehicle or something, and you can warm it up and bring it up to the door for them, or if they're getting a loaner car because they're having their car work done or something, maybe you get a loaner car or bring their car back out if it's been serviced and they're to pick it up or something. And so they look like they're fairly busy here on a Friday. Of course, this channel, I wish it would have expanded kind of really fast in a way, just to where, I could be doing AdSense or something like that, making a few bucks to help my situation out. But it doesn't matter. I think it's growing at just a fine rate. I think I'm up to 24 subscribers here on YouTube now. Last I checked, I got 13 subscribers on Rumble, and I'm getting lots of views. Right now, last time on my 48-hour average, I was averaging anywhere from 80. I've been averaging anywhere from 80, 90 views every 48 hours. That's pretty good. So I shouldn't look at it like that because it's not. That isn't what matters. What matters is what it's about, or what I believe, what I want it to be about, the name, of course, is because it's got to be about God, But right now, because I don't know Scripture, I'm not a preacher. I know, some of Scripture, a little bit, some stuff here and there. And I know some of the stories from watching the movies as a kid. I don't know if it was Charlton Heston or who played Moses. I should look that up. But I remember watching the movie Moses as a kid, and some of them different good old movies that are, about stories from the Bible. And when I was thinking about my mom or my dad or my grandpa or something, somebody told me, hey, watch this one, it's a good movie, it's about Moses from the Bible, blah, 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 or something, so I was like, ooh, I didn't just hear about what's coming out of this book. I got to see it on like a play on TV, or a movie. And I really learned, oh my gosh. It scared me. Whew. Start to ling. I forgot when I was digging up that stuff up there to find a $10 bill. I normally set stuff a certain way so everything stays pretty stable up there. But one of my, I got one of those travel cases, that got the wheels and the extendable handle on it, and then you can zip it open and put your clothes, and it's got the little compartments for, toothbrushes and all that good stuff. Well, one of those, I had two of them. One I got free years ago as a gift thing at North, and that one I bought because it was really nice, and I knew I was going to be living in the camper more, and I thought that'll help me organize the clothes some more and stuff, and I still got to get more organization going with my clothes and stuff. I've been so dwelling on survival that it's too long. I've been dwelling on it too long because pretty much since my mom passed over the last 3 years, I've been in this I think I'm in like a survival mode. Like I'm still kind of numb. I've done a lot of healing because I was really rough. It was really tough for me, shortly after she passed, because of my emotions. Somebody looked over at me and see me talking away. They probably didn't realize I was filming. Look at that crazy guy talking to himself. Oh, maybe he's on the phone. Nowadays, I guess that doesn't look as crazy. But I think you're on the phone talking to somebody. Well, I am kind of, but on a video. So I've been doing. I've done a lot of healing over missing my mom. bird snuck in on me again. There's no. So yeah, I've done a lot of healing. I'm still in the process of all this stuff happening. You know, and then like, you know, and I know other families who went to it too. You know, when parent or grandparent or somebody dies, it's just sad to see greed come out of people. You know, and all this. Oh, I'm gonna. What do I get? I want this. I want that. You know, give me. You know. I've never been like that. Even if I'm hurting, the bigger picture for me is I miss that person. You know. And it happened to me when my grandpa died. My dad and my brother. That's probably my brother that drew it all out. But my dad, of course, my grandpa was his dad. So to me, naturally, you know, grandpa's passed. Dad should have his house. Dad should be the executor. Dad should make the decisions on stuff because that was his father. Because my grandfather, my brother's grandfather, but you know, I'd say Dad's next in line. You know, my brother, he's really gotten the whole stuck on, you know, because at one point my grandpa was starting to do it well and was going to leave the house to me and my brother and stuff, but not. My grandpa had trust funds back then for my dad, me, my brother, whatever. So my brother had a trust fund, and because he had kids, my grandpa, his trust fund was like $20,000 or something, 20 or 30. Mine was 15, and because I didn't have no kids or nothing at the time, and I did. I got a wonderful daughter, but grandpa was already, you know, passed before I had my daughter, you know. So anyway, I was bird sneaking in again. My brother got into arguing with my dad in the bar about wanting stuff, you know, in the house. Grandpa wanted that house to go to Mandarin and blah, 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 you know. And my brother asked me to go with him to the bar because he was scared of my dad, you know, and he wanted to kind of confront him on stuff. But at that point, I'd already had a moment with my dad where I stood up to my dad, you know, and it was a sad moment, a lot of tears in there. But I'd grown to be a man enough that I was going to be bullied or nothing, you know. My dad was a drinker, so, you know, if you wouldn't exactly think straightest if he was drinking, and he might say things that aren't nice or be a little rough around the edges or something. So, you know, I stood up to him one night. I'll tell you that in another story. I think I might have already said it in one video. I don't know. I'll probably tell it again sometime, but I don't want to get off track too much. I don't even know how I got on this track. But yeah, so I went with my brother. I said, yeah, I'll go with you. You know, let Dad gets. If you got stuff to say, you know, say it. You know, I may not agree with you, but you have the right to express who you want to be and what you want to say. So yeah, so I'll say what you got to say, and if Dad gets upset or something, you know, really ain't gonna let him throw it on you. You know, deal with Dad. Must have felt like a Superman or something. But my dad was a tough dude. So guess what? My dad was a really, really tough dude. Must be pretty strong, but pretty tough or something. What do you think of that? I love my dad. Even that night that me and my dad got into it, I told him, I said, Dad, you know, God, I'll have to tell that story later, I guess. Very intense, but I let him know, hey, Dad, you know, I love you. I don't want to fight with you or nothing, but I'm not a little boy no more, you know. I ain't gonna let you degrade me, down talk me. Oh, I wasn't doing that. Well, yes, you were. You're just drinking and you ain't thinking, you know, or something. But I'm not a little boy no more, and I'm not going to let you trash on me and try to browbeat me. And, yeah, but I'm getting off track. Anyway. There's a word again. So yeah, so my brother got into all that with him. And it just, even then, I know what my point was there, so I went there for my brother, even though I didn't agree with his argument about stuff, you know, that he wanted more and he should have this and he should have that. And, but I figured, I still felt he's an individual. Even though I may not agree with him, I I felt that it's the right thing to do. If he was afraid of Dad getting mad at him or something, and felt safe with me being there, knowing that I wouldn't let that happen, I would protect my older brother. I'd say that like that just to get a point out, in case he ever watches this stuff. I hope he don't, because he'd just try to start trouble and stuff, you know. Anyway. Oh, that bird's sneaky. Back her up there, camper. Am I back all the way? Ooh, there we go. Oh no, I hit the tree. Well, I didn't hit it, but I hit the branches. I don't want to hit the branches. Ha, there we go. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, there's branches there, and all of a sudden I looked in the mirror and I could see them bending. So, but I figured, even though, I'll shut that off. Even though I didn't agree with my brother, the right thing to do was to let him be able to speak his piece and feel safe speaking his piece, you know, without being intimidated if my dad was to try to bully him while he's trying to speak what's on his heart, you know. Even if I think what's on his heart was wrong, you know, I still felt that he deserved the right to express himself. And he did, and it got a little heated. I stayed in between them. I made sure my brother was on the left side of me and my dad was on the right. And, which made it better for me because I could turn with a quick left. No, no, I'm just kidding. Maybe I did. Maybe I was kind of being strategic in the positioning. Doesn't matter. Even if they both came at me and got mad, I would have had to give them both some lessons. Now listen, you better listen up here and start acting right. Oh my. Glad I could laugh about that stuff, because it wasn't laughing matters that when I was living it, you know. But it wasn't them two got arguing about stuff. And I kind of bundled my dad in with my brother because of the stuff they're arguing about, but I think my dad was just more on the defense then, you know, because of my brother's like greed or whatever coming out of him. I don't know. But I told them both, was they both got arguing about stuff. I think my dad was wise enough to know there was a reason that I came in with my brother and was sitting in between them. Dad knew what was up. And anyway, but my dad, I know he loved me and had respect for me. You know. And I just told them both, and they both got arguing. I started getting emotional and crying and stuff because I was like, I said, you guys are both making me sick. And they looked at me because they're thinking like, you know, like I was sick, like gonna throw up or something like that. But I meant sick in my heart and soul or whatever. When they looked at me, I said, you know, you guys are both arguing about stuff. And my dad, like I said, when I look at it now, I didn't think about it then. My dad was probably doing it more in defense because of where the angle my brother was coming from. My brother brought it to him. My dad didn't bring that stuff to him, you know. But because they both got arguing about stuff, because it was, well, I should have this, I should have that, and my dad's like, I'm his son, you know, blah blah blah. So my dad was more on a defense, you know. But just hearing that the arguing, I just told them both. I said, you know, you make me sick. I said, you know, I miss my grandpa. Whew. It's weird how I can relive stuff like the moment I was in it. But I just said, I miss my grandpa. And you guys are arguing about money and houses and all that crap. You know? What kind of people are we? You know, are you? You know? Sometimes I'd say we, even though I know I wasn't part of the we. You know? We, all the way home. But yeah, it was tough, man. But I'm glad I was there for it. I'm glad I made the right decision. Even though it was a tough decision, I'm glad I went there to defend my brother. Even though it's what he had to say and speak his piece I didn't agree with. But I think I did the right thing by standing up for him so he could speak his piece. Even though I may not agree with it, I didn't feel like he should be silenced. He should be able to express that, even if he's wrong. At least he's being heard or getting to express himself, you know. And maybe, you know, I guess I always had hope for him. I still do. I still pray that he becomes a better person. You know, that Lord will open his eyes or something. I don't know, though. I don't know. After 57 years of my life, and still really, he's gotten worse, it seems like, you know. But that's, who am I to judge, I guess, you know. I know it, but I guess I shouldn't try to label him, but it is what it is. So, I don't know, I'm getting off on a deeper subject of some of the tough stuff in my past. I don't know how that came out of me. Maybe someday I'll watch this video back and see the difference in it. But anyway, I'm going to get in the library and get busy. God bless you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.